Hi everyone, my name is Natasha, and for today's video I will be performing a detox facial, as I like to call them, or a deep cleansing facial on my model Yuselis. This is her first time having a facial, and this is my first time also seeing her. So this is going to be a really exciting facial. That way we get an introduction to show you guys what it is to do a detox facial or a deep cleansing facial. We've gone over her client intake form already, so I've learned a little bit about her skin, but I've yet to see it under the light, so I'm really excited to share this video with you guys. This is a sunflower cream cleanser, and I like to massage it in without using water at first. She's not wearing any makeup, but in most cases, if someone's wearing makeup, this is a really nice makeup remover, especially if you massage it in. You help the pores get a little softer and pull all that oil, makeup, and everything that may be lingering. And even if they're not wearing makeup, I still do this part of the facial. And I'm using these little sponges for her today. These are disposable sponges. It's always better to have everything in the spa to be disposable. At home, I do recommend for them to cleanse with like a brush. I'm all for the Clairsonic brush. I think those are pretty nice brushes. But at spa use, it's always better to have disposable items. Okay, now this is her second cleanse. Although I do I did say this is a detox facial, everything is customizable. So by detox facial or deep cleansing facial, I mean that it's the best facial to do as a person's first facial, especially if they suffer from acne or any blackheads and that's their concern. You just want to get in there and clean them out really nicely and get to know their skin. So that's what I want to do today. I just want to get to know her skin, see where she's at. We'll do some extractions before we start any other like harsh treatment. We don't want to go straight forward into peeling and all that. For me personally, I like to get to know every client's skin and see where they stand. Okay, now I'm removing her second cleanse. I do recommend that you do this at home also. It's not too harsh for anyone to double cleanse at home. It has a lot of benefits to it because on the first cleanse you just get over the surface, and then the second one just helps kind of break through everything a lot easier. So it's nice. You don't always have time to do it on the daily, but it really takes no time, honestly. It doesn't take too long. You just cleanse once and then follow right after and cleanse again. So now that we have completed her double cleanse, I'll follow up with a toner. So you're going to feel cool mist. Okay, so I have swapped my gloves, and now we are going to do a enzyme mask. This mask, I'm going to team it up with the steam. So she's gonna cook under the steam for a little bit. It's just gonna help soften up her skin because we're gonna do some extractions today. Now this mask could tingle a little bit, and that's completely normal because of the enzymes in it. It's a pumpkin enzyme mask that I'm using. Also, I did mix it with a little bit of the sunflower cleanser, so it's a little creamier. and I also put in jojoba beads in it. I do recommend that you exfoliate at home if you suffer from any blackheads or acne and oily skin. You are good candidates for exfoliation, but you do have to be careful with what kind of beads you have in the product that you may use. So if they're if they're too granulated, they could scratch your skin. If you look closely, like you can tell that your skin's been a little bit irritated, and it comes from that. So I prefer jojoba beads. Now, of course, you do have to be careful, make sure they're the actual thing, and make sure that they are nice and round instead of a kind of like a pumice consistent, or like a little stone. You don't want them to be uneven. You like for them to be nice and round. That way you can just manipulate it. And I don't know if you could see, but they're in there. I put very little. Jojoba beads are my favorite because they are not drying to the skin. They're not too harsh. They're just right. Alright, so I have brought over the steam now. So she's going to take steam for a little bit. I'm going to continue to massage her skin. Earlier I mentioned how I swapped my gloves. I prefer to use gloves during the first two process that I do, so the cleansing and the enzyme, just because I glide better, and I'm going to do a lot of massaging with these products that can tingle a little bit, so I just feel that it's a better match. Sometimes I change my mind, so that's not anything you have to follow me by, because I don't know if I will do that any different later on. And then towards the end I take them off. So now I'm removing this with a warm towel. More like lukewarm, because I don't like the one that I used to remove the enzyme to be a bit too warm, because she's already been under the steam for a little while, so we don't want to have her get too flushed already before the extractions. Not using any cleanser right now, or you're just using the one that you take a shower with, that you start with something so basic as 3 steps. You cleanse, you tone, and you moisturize. I do ask that you don't get a toner that is with alcohol. It shouldn't sting, it shouldn't tingle, unless that's what you're looking for, unless you have been told or referred to a certain cleanser by your dermatologist or by your esthetician, then that's a different story. But on the most part, I do recommend everyone on a basic level of skincare to just get themselves like a rose toner, witch hazel toner, to have in between their cleanser and their moisturizer. So again, you would cleanse, tone, and moisturize. And those are pretty good steps that are easy for some beginners to start with. And then you can get into adding more serums, because I know that it can be a little bit bombarding at first. Okay, so now we're gonna look at her under the Maggie lamp. I am going to see her skin now that I've cleansed, toned, and I've done the enzyme mask. I've done everything to prep her for this moment. So I don't think that you have to cut out dairy cold turkey, because I know how hard it is. But you can go through seasons where you cut it out, or you can at least limit your intake for dairy. but that's one of the biggest ones that is recommended for anyone suffering from acne or breakouts or all of that. Also, you have to be careful with your cleansers, what kind of cleanser you're using. I was also mentioning to her detergent. Even detergent comes into play if you're using a detergent that's a bit too harsh for your skin type. All these things will make a difference. You doing okay? We're almost done. We're all done with the extractions. So she's obviously a little irritated and red. That's completely normal. She might be red until tomorrow, or some people, every skin is different. Some people actually get a little bit better within the hour, within 25 minutes, so it just depends. She'll go down definitely, and she's nice and cleansed, nice, and you know, we pushed a lot of things out with today's extractions. I'll definitely need another session. Also, it's quite normal if you get a deep cleanse, your first deep cleanse, if you have like a lingering bacteria and you break out 2 days after your facial. Sometimes I'll get that call and someone would be like, well, why did I just break out? What happened? I just saw you. And that's normal. It's just the bacteria that's just coming out because of everything that we did. It was gonna happen anyways. Those are the ones that you don't touch. There's no need to touch those. So if it does happen to you, don't do anything about it. Just leave it alone, because it will go away on its own. We talked about picking of the skin already. We went over that, how she should definitely avoid picking her skin. Right now, all she has to do is maintain it. And for her, I'd probably see her in 2 to 3 weeks, just to do this all over again. And then we could probably start with doing other treatments. But before then, I would definitely like to see her for deep cleansing a little bit more. I also wear a mask during the extraction portion because I'm so close to their face. I don't want to be breathing on top of her or like talking and then my breath on top of her. I know I don't like that, so I do that for that reason. I'm gonna do the toning again, so you're gonna feel the cool mist. And I always like to let them know that they're gonna feel the mist, because sometimes we're talking or sometimes, you know, you don't see it coming. So in order to just not catch them off guard, now we'll begin to cool her down. So this is a nice minty mask that's going on her right now. Help cool her down. We're gonna soothe her. And then I'll also use the stones. I sometimes even, you're gonna feel the coolness, okay? Sometimes I even prefer to use the stones rather than the globe, just because I feel like they stay a lot colder than the globes. The globes kind of don't last very long. Those stones are working for me now, but I have my eye on something else, so maybe you won't be seeing them for too long. This is typically the best part for everyone, because they're finally coming down. They feel their face a little hot. They feel the redness, but the cooling effect is just so nice on them and so nice on their pores as well. And a lot of massaging involved. At home, you could definitely cleanse with warm water. It is nice to always finish off with cool water, especially for the body. I know us women, we like to take really hot showers, but it's not beneficial for the skin. You just tear down the skin a bit too much. It's a bit too harsh, and you know, through time you're just aging a little bit more, so it doesn't help for that either. It's always best to finish cool. If you want to take a warm shower, that's all right, but always try to finish a little cool. You don't have to freeze, but just a little bit to help your skin not be so tight and dry after. Okay. Alright. And now this is just the last part of the facial where I apply the serums and eye cream, everything that she should do on a normal basis. I put that all now, and then a little massage towards the end to help again cool her and soothe her, and then we're done. I do recommend for anyone at home going to do a little mini facial, or you want to treat yourself to something, to always have like warm towels. They really make a difference, and finish strong with lots of rich serums and things like that. Also, for tonight, you don't have to wash your skin unless you planned on wearing makeup or things like that. I'll tell my clients they don't have to wash for tonight. They just could go about their day. If it's too early in the day, then you probably should, but for the most part you don't have to, again, unless you plan on wearing makeup. And then tomorrow she continues her routine as she normally would. A drainage massage. We've definitely cooled her and soothed her down. She's a lot less red than what she was after the extractions. I've already recommended some things for her to do at home, and I'm going to send her on her way. Definitely a huge difference from today. We've got a lot of extractions out, and I could still do more in the next visit. There's just some that I'm not going to touch, and neither is she, that we're just going to let pass and cool down. We will get more into those later on. We will get more into scars later on, but for today we've had a successful deep cleansing detox facial, and when I see her again, hopefully we'll just keep improving more and more. So thank you guys all for watching, and so much for tuning in. This is one of my first videos, hopefully of many. I hope to make them as educational as possible for both my SD friends or my clients to be. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Subscribe. I plan on making more videos, and follow me. That'd be great. And if you could give this video a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. Bye.